Take it to the Western Cape now, where the Legal Resource Centre and the City of Cape Town are set to face off in the Western Cape High Court today. Now, the centre is seeking to interdict the city from evicting residents at an informal settlement in Khayelitsha. This week, the City of Cape Town removed unoccupied and unfinished structures in Makhaza following a court order to prevent the illegal occupation of city-owned land. However, the city has denied that it's evicted residents, claiming that it simply followed a court order to put down illegal unoccupied structures. Our reporter Athi Mtongana is on the story. She joins us now live from Empolweni in Khayelitsha. So Athi, often when these disagreements happen in the upper echelons of South Africa's justice system, we lose sight of the effects on the ground. What we're seeing there is how this is having an impact on people at the cold face of this problem. Take us through what they say.
So in the words of Professor Abdul Karim, who was briefing the nation yesterday, Ayanda, he mentioned that when the virus enters a community, it spreads like wildfire. Of course, they were looking at the trajectory of other countries which have been hard hit by COVID-19. However, we haven't seen yet the spread of the virus, particularly in communities that are densely populated, like the one we're in Khayelitsha, because we haven't seen a lot of the people in these communities being tested for COVID-19. We know that there's a number of people who have tested positive for coronavirus in Khayelitsha alone. That number is around over 10 people. I think the number right now is standing at around 14 cases in Khayelitsha alone. And so the fears of the virus spreading are very rife and are very high as the communities, particularly this one in Empolweni, face a situation where they have nowhere else to go and social distancing is not a thing. So residents overnight, of course, spent the night here. In the past few days, during the clashes with some of the law enforcement officers and anti-land invasion unit workers, residents resorted to sleep at a nearby church. However, residents are telling us now that the doors to that church have been closed because the doors for that church were open, particularly on the day when the South African Weather Service issued out a weather warning for adverse weather conditions. But of course, following that, it has since been closed and residents have had no choice but to actually sleep on this piece of land. I'm going to briefly move out of shot, Ayanda, to show you that residents have made makeshift beds here to be able to at least put their heads over the night and try to sleep. But of course, Ayanda, the issue around social distancing is not adhered to here because residents have been gathering in large groups, and we know that a lot of experts, not only in South Africa, have warned against large gatherings and people being close to each other. But these residents here saying to us that coronavirus is a fear. Yes, they do accept that. But on the other hand, they have this issue which now is before them, which is more urgent than the COVID-19 epidemic. They're claiming that, of course, what they want right now is for them to find themselves in a situation where they can erect their structures so that they can have roofs over their head as the lockdown has been extended by President Ramaphosa. Now I'm going to bring in a resident here, Ayanda, to talk to us about how things have been over the past few days. But how did you sleep? We see you've made makeshift beds. There's a fire. You are close to each other. There's the coronavirus that you have to worry about. And there's also this issue of not having homes. How are residents coping at this point?
Okay, silele apha izolo kwaye apha akumnandanga ulala phandle. Yabo. Ubhlungu kakhulu ngokudlala kwenhlungu silele kuyo ngokuhlunyezwa ke phofu ngugovernment walapha eSouth Africa. Even ne-maternity rate izolo sithathiwe satyiswa nge-tear gas phakathi kwezindlu singakhanga sibethe singakhanga senze into. Yabo. Kokubhlungu kule ndawo sihleli kuwe because asinandawo kuyagodola ndeni kukhona lesisifo siqondile endaweni eyi-1. Yabo akumnandanga nabantwana sincameza intoni sabacelela indawo abaphakathi kwehokini nalaa ndawo esicele kuyo eholweni livaliwe akakhange kuvumeleke uba bayawuphephiswa khona yabo oko silele apha nje siyacela ugovernment maphakame akwazi uba asilungisele indawo yethu abuyise izinto zethu ezisilahlekileyo kule ndawo sikuyo yabo because asinandawo esingabalekela kuyo yabo esingaya kuyo siphelele kule ndawo le.
Nithini ngale nto yoba i-coronavirus efikile nakoMakhayelitsha abantu bayachaphazeleka khona le issue ye-social distancing, i-health right now is on the spotlight. Nithini ngayo loo nto?
Sesizinikezela suppose singayifumana mos ngehlobo kwenzeka ngalo ngoku ugovernment asiphatha ngayo asiphethe ngayo yabona because asinayo indlela esingenza ngayo ekumbi because asiphephanga mos kuloo nto leyo yabona.
All right, thank you very much, Yonela, for your time. A resident here, Ayanda, just to loosely translate what he was saying, he was basically alluding to the point that I made earlier on, that they have nowhere else to sleep and that overnight they've had to sleep here. They made makeshift beds to be able to rest overnight. And he's basically just saying that some of the kids, they've had to ask some of the neighbors around the community of Khayelitsha to accommodate them overnight because children would not be able to sleep out in the cold at night. And as adults, they were able to at least make these makeshift beds and sleep here overnight. And basically, with regards to coronavirus, it sounds he's very defeated in his tone. He sounds like he is just basically saying that they have no choice. They can't social distance. There are fears, of course, of the virus spreading within this particular informal settlement, but he's saying to us that they have no choice. They've given in. They're saying that this is the predicament that they find themselves in and that they feel the government has let them down and that they are vulnerable. And at this point in time, whether coronavirus is transmitted here or not, they cannot do anything about it. But of course today we'll hear from the Western Cape High Court what the verdict is, because the Legal Resource Centre is really trying to get the city of Cape Town to halt these evictions. And as you rightfully put it, the city of Cape Town is claiming that these are not evictions, that the structures that they demolished are structures that were unoccupied, but as a result of the actions by the city of Cape Town, these are the people now who have been left homeless, and those are the arguments that we'll be hearing today at the Western Cape High Court. Ayanda.